If you want to achieve anything significant in life, one thing is clear: you need control over your mind. The most successful people in the world don't just rely on their skills or circumstances, they rely on their ability to focus. Without focus, all the talent and potential in the world won't get you far. The truth is, your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but only if you learn how to harness it. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to take control of your mind and sharpen your focus. I'll walk you through simple yet powerful strategies that will help you stay locked in on your goals and stop you from drifting through life. This isn't about quick fixes or gimmicks. This is about building habits that will transform the way you think, work, and live. You'll learn how to build a routine that strengthens your mental control, eliminate distractions, and stay on track even when the world around you is pulling you in different directions. So if you're ready to stop letting life happen to you and start making it happen for you, stick around. The power to change is within you, and it starts with how you focus your mind. Number 1, block all distractions and lock into your goal. Focus is not something you're born with. It's something you build, and to build it, you have to first get serious about what's getting in your way. Most people never get there because they never stop to ask a simple question: what's stealing my attention? What's pulling me away from what I say I want? If you don't ask that, you'll waste days, weeks, maybe years just drifting. If you want to focus your mind, the first step is to block all distractions. Not manage them, not reduce them, block them, cut them out. You have to look at everything around you and ask yourself, is this helping me move forward, or is this holding me back? That one question will expose a lot. You'll see how often you reach for your phone when you're supposed to be thinking. You'll notice how often you let someone else's urgency become your distraction. You'll realize how quickly you give up your time to things that don't give you anything back. People talk about motivation and passion, but those things don't mean much if your mind is scattered. What good is energy if it's wasted on things that don't matter? What good is excitement if it's not aimed at anything real? Focus gives you direction. Focus gives your effort meaning. You've got to decide what matters to you. You've got to look your goals in the face and say, this is it. This is where I'm going. And nothing else gets my energy. When your mind is unfocused, you feel tired even when you haven't done anything. You feel restless. You feel stuck. You sit down to work, and your thoughts jump from one thing to another. You scroll your phone and suddenly 2 hours are gone. That's not because you're lazy. That's because your mind has no structure. And the good news is, you can change that. You can control what you see. You can control what you hear. You can control who you give your time to. These choices either help your focus or destroy it. Building focus is not soft. It's not easy. It takes strength. It takes discipline. It's not about being in the mood. It's about doing the work, whether you feel like it or not. It's about saying no when you want to say yes. It's about turning away from comfort and giving your time to things that matter. It's about choosing purpose over distraction. And that choice is where growth begins. Because once you start cutting out the distractions, your life changes. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop chasing noise and start chasing meaning. You stop wasting energy on what people think and start putting it toward what you know you need to do. That's the power of focus. It clears your path. It gives you peace. It puts your mind back in your hands. Focus is a muscle. You don't get it by accident. You build it by showing up. You build it by doing one thing at a time. You build it by staying with the task, even when your mind starts to wander. Every time you bring your attention back, you get stronger. Every time you finish what you started, you grow more disciplined. That's how you get better. That's how you build confidence. And here's the truth. You will be tempted. You'll be tempted to check that message, to answer that notification, to drift, to stop. But every time you do that, you weaken your focus. You break your rhythm. And more importantly, you tell yourself that distractions matter more than your goals. That's a habit you can't afford to keep. If you want a focused mind, you need structure. You need a routine. You need rules. Not complicated ones, just real ones. Decide what time you start. Decide how long you work. Decide what gets your attention and what doesn't. And stick to it. Because when you do that, something shifts. You stop living in reaction. You stop running in circles. You start moving with purpose. The people who do great things are not doing 10 things at once. They're doing one thing with everything they've got. They don't let their focus be stolen by every little thing that pops up. They stay locked in. They keep their head where their feet are. That's the secret. Not doing more. Doing what matters. With full focus. You don't need a perfect environment. You don't need endless time. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to decide, right now, that you will protect your focus. That you will block the noise. That you will direct your mind to one goal. And when it gets hard, you'll stay. You'll breathe. You'll bring your focus back. Over and over again. That's how results are built. Not in big leaps, but in small choices. Every time you block a distraction, you build trust with yourself. Every time you stay focused, you build momentum. And when you have momentum, everything gets easier. You start believing again. You stop doubting. You start seeing progress. And that progress makes you stronger. So ask yourself, how much longer are you going to let distractions run your day? How much longer are you going to live in pieces? You don't need more hours. You need more intention. You need more control. You need more focus. Because once your mind is clear and your goal is locked in, you move faster. You think better. You feel better. You show up stronger. Take your focus back. Take your time back. Take your power back. You have everything you need. You don't have to chase it. You just have to build it. One moment at a time. One decision at a time. Focus your mind. Block all distractions. Lock into your goal. And never look away. That's where your future begins. Number 2. Train your brain daily to think with clarity. Most people want clarity. They say they want to make better decisions. They want to stop second-guessing themselves. They want to be more certain about where they're going. But the truth is, clarity isn't something that just appears. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you train for. You train your brain daily to think clearly. Just like anything else worth having, it takes effort. It takes commitment. And it takes practice. If your mind is full of clutter, you're not going to get clarity. If you wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone, scroll through updates, let the world throw noise at you before you've even had a moment to breathe, you're not building a clear mind. You're setting yourself up to be reactive all day. And a reactive mind cannot lead. A reactive mind cannot see clearly. A reactive mind is constantly trying to catch up. Clarity begins with what you feed your brain. That means being intentional. It means taking ownership of your thoughts. You don't have to believe everything you think. You don't have to follow every emotion. A disciplined mind learns how to pause. It learns how to separate noise from truth. But that doesn't happen on accident. It happens when you decide each day to train your brain. Start with silence. Not the kind of silence where you're doing nothing, but the kind where you're actively listening to your own thoughts. Sit in the stillness. Let your mind settle. You can't clean up a storm while it's still raging. You wait for it to calm down. Then you start cleaning. Do the same with your thoughts. Sit with them. Watch them. Don't rush to solve everything. Just observe. Most people don't know how their mind works because they've never taken the time to look. They've never asked themselves why they believe what they believe, why they react the way they do, why they keep falling into the same mental traps. Clarity comes when you slow down and pay attention to your own patterns. It comes when you stop moving so fast and start thinking deeper. Write things down. That's one of the most powerful tools you have. If your thoughts stay in your head, they mix together, get distorted, lose direction. When you write, you organize. You turn chaos into structure. You start to see what matters and what doesn't. You begin to spot what's real and what's just noise. A journal isn't just paper. It's a tool to train your brain to think with purpose. Clarity is not just about focus. It's about being able to separate facts from opinions, fears from logic, and emotions from decisions. It's about seeing things as they are, not as you wish they were. That takes training. It takes reminding yourself every day to stop reacting and start evaluating. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to fight every battle. A clear mind knows which things to engage with and which to let go. Train your brain by asking better questions. Don't just ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What can I learn from this?" Don't ask, "What if I fail?" Ask, "What will I miss if I don't try?" Don't ask, "What do they think of me?" Ask, "What do I think of myself?" Clarity grows when you challenge your thinking, not when you repeat the same old doubts every day. If your mind is full of fear, uncertainty, and overwhelm, it's not broken. It's just untrained. You don't have to stay that way. You can rebuild how you think, but it takes consistency. You don't go to the gym once and expect to get strong. You don't eat one healthy meal and expect your body to transform. The same goes for your brain. You train it every single day. Start your mornings with intention. Before the world throws its weight on your shoulders, take time to set your own tone. Read something that stretches your thinking. Reflect on what you want to create that day. Set clear targets. Don't just drift into the day. Walk into it with a solid plan. That's how you shape clarity. By acting with purpose, not emotion. During the day, protect your attention. When your attention is scattered, your thinking is scattered, and scattered thinking leads to scattered results. Learn to pause. Learn to reset. Learn to step back from chaos and return to center. That might mean stepping away from people who always bring drama. That might mean turning off your phone for a while. That might mean saying no to things that look good but don't serve your direction. A clear mind needs room to breathe. At night, reflect. What did you learn? Where did your thinking help you? Where did it hurt you? Don't judge yourself. Just observe. That's how you improve. That's how you learn to spot the blind spots before they get in your way again. And as you keep doing this, day after day, something begins to shift. Your thinking becomes sharper. Your choices become cleaner. Your actions start lining up with your values. Clarity gives you freedom. You're no longer trapped in cycles of confusion. You're no longer overwhelmed by every new idea or opinion. You know who you are. You know what you want. And more importantly, you know how to get there. But none of that comes without effort. You don't drift into clarity. You build it with discipline. When others are rushing, you'll learn to slow down. When others are reacting, you'll learn to breathe. When others are lost in noise, you'll be moving forward with direction. That's not an accident. That's training. And it happens one thought at a time. So train your brain. Train it to stay calm when things get hard. Train it to separate truth from fear. Train it to think with clarity, even when the world is chaotic. This is not about being perfect. It's about being deliberate. It's about showing up every day and doing the work to shape the way you think. Because your thoughts create your direction. Your direction creates your life. And if you don't take control of your thinking, something else will. You don't have to accept every thought that enters your mind. You can choose which ones stay and which ones go. That's power. That's freedom. And that's how you build a life you're proud of. Clarity isn't rare. It's just not practiced enough. Most people never take the time to train their brain. They hope clarity shows up when they need it most. But it doesn't work that way. You build it before you need it. You train for it daily. And when you do, your decisions get stronger. Your emotions get steadier. Your confidence rises. And your life starts to feel like it's moving in the right direction. Not by chance, but by choice. Number 3. Force your attention on one thing with discipline. You will never get where you want to go if your attention is all over the place. Most people don't fail because they're not smart or talented. They fail because they don't finish what they start. They keep jumping from one thing to the next. They don't stay long enough with anything to make real progress. And in a world that constantly pulls your mind in every direction, learning to force your attention on one thing is not just helpful, it's necessary. You want to achieve something great? Then you've got to train yourself to stay with the task even when it gets boring, uncomfortable, or hard. That's discipline. That's the ability to choose long-term growth over short-term relief. It's not about doing what feels good, it's about doing what works. And what works is giving your full attention to one thing at a time. You can't think clearly when your focus is split. You can't grow when your energy is divided. When you try to do too much at once, you lose depth. You lose power. You do everything halfway and nothing really gets done. That's the cost of scattered effort. It keeps you stuck in the middle, busy but not productive, active but not advancing. Start by choosing one thing, not 5, not 3, 1. Ask yourself, what's the one task, goal, or action that matters most right now? What's the one thing that, if done with full intensity, will move your life forward? Once you know what that is, lock in. Give it your full effort. Not for a few minutes, not until it gets uncomfortable. Commit to seeing it through. Your brain will resist. It's wired for survival, not success. It will chase ease, not excellence. So when you begin to focus, distractions will come rushing in. Your phone will buzz. Your thoughts will wander. You'll remember things you didn't do. This is the moment where most people break. This is the moment where you must push through, not with emotion, with discipline. Discipline means choosing what matters over what tempts. Discipline means pulling your attention back every time it drifts. Discipline means ignoring the pull to switch tasks just because the current one is challenging. That pull is the enemy. It promises relief, but takes away progress. And if you keep giving into it, you'll never build anything real. Force your attention. That word force matters, because this won't feel natural at first. You'll have to fight for your focus. You'll have to push yourself to stay present. You'll have to block out everything else, screaming for your attention. You'll have to choose your goal over your comfort. That's how discipline is built, by repetition, by showing up, by refusing to quit when your mind says quit. Create an environment that helps you. If the phone distracts you, turn it off. If the noise gets in the way, find silence. If people interrupt you, set boundaries. This is your life. This is your work. Take control of it. You don't owe anyone your attention. You owe yourself progress. You owe yourself discipline. And that means protecting your focus like it matters. Because it does. Decide how long you'll work. Set a time. Stay with it. Train your brain to stay engaged for longer stretches. Start with what you can handle and stretch it over time. Don't give up the second you feel restless. That restlessness is your brain trying to escape the work. And if you keep letting it escape, you'll keep running in circles. One task, one goal, one focus. Do it well, finish it strong, then move to the next. This is how you move from average to excellent. Not by trying to be everywhere at once, but by being fully present where it matters most. This kind of attention builds momentum. It builds trust in yourself. It builds the mental muscle you need to face bigger challenges. This isn't just about productivity. It's about power. The power to own your time. The power to lead your life. When you master your attention, you master your results. You stop being dragged by every impulse, every distraction, every new thing that pops up. You become grounded, steady, focused. And that changes everything. Every time you force your attention on one thing with discipline, you strengthen your character. You learn to control your thoughts instead of letting them control you. You stop chasing quick fixes and start creating lasting outcomes. That kind of clarity doesn't come from wishing. It comes from showing up, doing the work, and staying with it until it's done. Most people will never do this. They'll say it's too hard, too boring, too slow. And they'll keep jumping from one thing to the next, wondering why nothing changes. But you are not most people. You are here because you want to grow, because you're tired of wasting time, because you know there's more in you. So act like it. Take that desire and turn it into discipline. Take that goal and give it your full attention. No shortcuts, no skipping steps, just steady, focused work. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. And you don't need more ideas. You need to finish the ones you already have. That's how progress is made. Not by adding more, but by doing one thing with everything you've got. So if you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. If you're tired of spinning your wheels, stop multitasking. If you're tired of feeling stuck, Stop letting your attention drift. Force it. Direct it. Discipline it. Over time, you'll see something powerful happen. You'll start getting things done. You'll start building real confidence. You'll start trusting yourself again. The work won't always be exciting, but the results will be. The process won't always be fast, but it will be worth it. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep doing the work, keep focusing your attention on what matters, even when it's tough, especially when it's tough, because that's how you separate yourself from the crowd. That's how you rise, not by chance, not by luck, but by choice. Daily, relentlessly, with discipline. Force your attention on one thing. Hold it there. Give it everything. And don't stop until it's done. That's how you create progress. That's how you build success. And that's how you take control of your future. Number 4. Take full charge of where your thoughts go. Most people wake up every day and let their thoughts go wherever they want. No filter, no direction, no control. Whatever pops into their mind, they follow it. A bad memory, they let it ruin their mood. A small worry, they blow it up into fear. One piece of negative news, they carry it like a weight the whole day, and then they wonder why they feel anxious, confused, or stuck. It's not because life is out of control. It's because their thoughts are. You have to take full charge of where your thoughts go. That's not a suggestion. That's a decision, a responsibility. If you don't lead your thinking will lead you somewhere you don't want to be. Every thought that enters your mind influences how you feel, how you act, and who you become. And if you're not paying attention, you might end up living a life that doesn't even feel like yours. Your mind is like an open field. If you don't plant something in it, something will still grow. Just not the kind of things you want. You can't leave it unguarded. You can't afford to let anything and everything settle in your head. You need to be intentional. You need to take control. You need to start leading your thoughts like your future depends on it. Because it does. Every morning you wake up, you're either in charge of your thoughts or your thoughts are in charge of you. When you start the day worrying about problems or repeating the same old mental loops, you're giving your power away. But when you pause, take a breath, and choose what you want to focus on, everything changes. That's where real strength begins. Not in controlling the world, but in directing your inner world. Taking charge doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It doesn't mean ignoring real struggles. It means choosing how you respond. It means catching yourself when your thinking slips into negativity, fear, or doubt, and choosing a better path. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Start by becoming aware. Notice where your mind tends to go when you're not watching it. Does it drift toward failure? Does it repeat old regrets? Does it spiral into comparison? This kind of awareness isn't always comfortable, but it's powerful. Because once you know the patterns, you can start to change them. You can't fix what you don't face. Then begin to question your thoughts. Just because a thought enters your head doesn't mean it's true. Just because it feels familiar doesn't mean it's right. Ask yourself, does this thought help me or hurt me? Is it moving me forward or holding me back? If it's not serving your growth, why are you keeping it around? Let it go. Replace it with something stronger, something aligned with who you want to become. Taking charge of your thoughts means deciding what you'll give your attention to. You don't have unlimited energy. You don't have unlimited time. So why waste it feeding thoughts that weaken you? Shift your focus to what builds you. Focus on solutions. Focus on goals. Focus on lessons. Feed the thoughts that give you strength. Starve the ones that drain you. And understand this: your brain responds to repetition. If you keep repeating negative thinking, your brain gets good at it. If you keep repeating strong, clear thinking, your brain rewires itself in that direction. That's not theory. That's real. You are literally shaping your mind by what you focus on day after day. So choose wisely, because your future is being built by the thoughts you allow right now. Train yourself to interrupt destructive thinking. When your mind starts spinning out, stop it. Out loud if you need to. Say no. Say stop. Stand up. Move. Breathe. Do whatever it takes to break the pattern. Then choose a better thought. Not a perfect one, just a better one. One that brings you back to stability, to reason, to direction. And don't underestimate the power of input. What you watch, read, and listen to feeds your thoughts. If you keep surrounding yourself with negativity, chaos, and noise, your mind will reflect that. If you surround yourself with growth, truth, and wisdom, your mind will begin to settle and sharpen. This is your responsibility. You decide what enters your head. Be selective. Be disciplined. Be honest with yourself about what lifts you up and what weighs you down. Also, watch how you talk to yourself. Your inner voice shapes your identity. If you're constantly telling yourself you're not good enough, not ready, not smart, your brain listens, and it begins to believe it. Speak truth to yourself. Speak strength. Speak direction. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, speak it until you do. Taking full charge of your thoughts also means being patient. This is not a switch you flip once. It's a daily habit, a mental workout. Some days will be harder than others. Some thoughts will feel heavier than others. That's okay. You don't need to win every battle. You just need to keep showing up for yourself. Keep practicing the habit of choosing better thoughts. Your thoughts are not the whole truth. They're just interpretations. They're shaped by your past, your experiences, your fears. But you don't have to be trapped by them. You can think differently. You can lead your mind in a new direction. And the more you do that, the stronger you become. Not because life is easier, but because your mind is steadier. No one can do this for you. Not your family. Not your friends. Not your mentor. This is your work. And it's some of the most important work you will ever do, because the quality of your thinking shapes the quality of your life. You get to decide if your mind becomes a tool for progress or a cage for regret. That's the choice. That's the responsibility. That's the power you hold. So take full charge. Lead your thoughts. Redirect your focus. Challenge what doesn't serve you. Strengthen what does. This is not just a mindset. It's a strategy. A way to take ownership of your life from the inside out. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can absolutely control what happens within you. That's where your freedom is. That's where your strength is. And that's where everything begins. Number 5. Push yourself to stay present in the moment. Most people spend their entire lives everywhere but here. Their bodies are in one place, but their minds are somewhere else. They're sitting with their family, but they're thinking about work. They're eating a meal, but their head is on what they have to do tomorrow. They're in a conversation, but half listening while scrolling their phone. This is how life slips away. One distracted moment at a time. If you want to live with purpose, you have to push yourself to stay present in the moment. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens through effort. It happens when you stop letting your mind drift to everything you can't control and start paying attention to what's right in front of you. The moment you're in right now, it's all you have. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. This one. And yet most people treat it like it doesn't matter. They're always rushing to the next thing, chasing something that's not even here. But the truth is, everything you want. Peace, progress, connection, clarity. It all starts by being fully where you are. When your mind constantly jumps to the past or the future, you weaken your ability to live with intention. Regret pulls you backward, worry pulls you forward, but presence keeps you grounded. It keeps you clear. It brings power to your actions. Because you're not just doing something, you're doing it with your full energy, attention, and care. Being present doesn't mean you forget your goals or ignore your responsibilities. It means you stop splitting your mind while you work toward them. It means you give your full focus to what matters now. This task, this person, this step, because that's how strong results are created. Not through scattered effort, but through total engagement. It's not always easy. Your mind will want to wander. You'll feel the urge to multitask. You'll hear your phone buzz. You'll think of something you forgot to do. This is where you must push. Push past the temptation to divide your attention. Push past the mental noise. Push into the discomfort of staying with one thing longer than you're used to. You train your presence like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. The more you stay focused in conversations, the more people will trust you. The more you give your full attention to your work, the better the results. The more you enjoy the moment you're in, the more alive you feel. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Start with small things. When you're eating, just eat. Taste the food. Feel the texture. Slow down. When you're speaking with someone, look at them. Listen fully. Don't plan what you're going to say next. Just hear them. When you're working, turn off the distractions. Set a timer. Work with focus, then rest. Break your day into blocks of true presence. And when your mind drifts, because it will, don't beat yourself up. Just notice it and return. Over and over again. That's the work. That's the discipline. Every time you bring your focus back to the moment, you build strength. You take back control. You reclaim your mind from the noise that tries to steal it. Think of how much of your life you've missed by being half there. Think of how many memories were blurred because your attention was elsewhere. That doesn't have to be your story going forward. You can shift it. You can start showing up for your own life, one moment at a time. But you have to decide to. You have to fight for it. There's clarity in the present. There's peace here. Not in the illusion of a perfect future. Not in the regret of a past you can't change. But in this breath. In this step. In this conversation. That's where your real life is happening. You'll never feel fulfilled if you're always somewhere else mentally. You'll never enjoy your wins if you can't sit still long enough to feel them. You'll never truly connect with anyone if your thoughts are always in another place. That's why presence isn't a soft skill. It's a core strength. It's what allows you to live deeply and intentionally. When you push yourself to stay present, you start making better choices. You slow down enough to respond instead of react. You notice things you would have missed. You hear what others are really saying. You see your habits more clearly. You realize how often you let moments pass without truly living them. It's not enough to move through life on autopilot. That's how people waste years. That's how they wake up and wonder where the time went. But when you commit to presence, you make every day count. Not by doing more, but by being more engaged, more alive, more real. Ask yourself, how much of today were you actually here for? How much of it did you fully live? If the answer is not much, don't ignore it. Use it. Let it wake you up. Let it push you to change. Because you don't get these moments back. You don't get another shot at this exact day, but you do get to decide what you do with the next one. Presence takes effort. It takes commitment, but it pays off in every area of life. Your relationships improve because people feel seen. Your results improve because your effort is sharper. Your self-respect improves because you know you showed up. These are not small things. These are the things that build a meaningful life. So push yourself. Don't wait until it's convenient. Don't wait until it's easy. Make it your daily standard. When your mind drifts, bring it back. When your attention splits, center it again. When the urge to escape shows up, stay a little longer. That's how you build presence. That's how you build power. And when you do this consistently, something shifts. You stop rushing. You stop chasing. You start experiencing. You start living. You begin to feel a deeper connection to everything around you. Your work, your people, your time. That kind of presence can't be faked. It comes from within, and it changes how you show up in the world. So from this day forward, be the one who is truly here. Be the one who brings focus to the table. Be the one who listens fully. Be the one who lives the moment, instead of trying to escape it. That's where real progress starts. Not in some far-off dream, but in the moment you're in right now. Push yourself to stay present. Not because it's trendy, not because someone told you to, but because your life depends on it. Every meaningful thing you'll ever build starts here.
Number 6. Remove useless noise and sharpen your mental state. Your mind is not weak. It's just overwhelmed. Every day from the moment you wake up, there's a flood of noise trying to break into your head. Notifications, opinions, bad news, distractions that don't serve you, voices that have nothing to do with your goals. And if you don't remove that noise, it starts to control how you think, how you feel, and how you live. If you want clarity, you have to clear the path.
If you want your mind sharp, focused, and alert, you must remove the useless noise that dulls it. This isn't just a motivational idea, it's a serious strategy. A cluttered mind leads to a cluttered life. A distracted head leads to wasted days. That's why every strong mind is built on discipline to remove what's unnecessary and protect what matters. You don't need more information. You don't need more input. You need more space to think. You need time to process. You need silence to find direction again, but that will never happen unless you take action to block out the noise that chips away at your clarity. Start by paying attention to your mental diet. What do you consume every single day without thinking? What kind of content do you allow into your mind the moment you open your eyes? Is it helping you grow or just keeping you busy? Just like your body can't stay healthy on junk food, your mind can't stay sharp on junk input. Remove the junk. You don't need to watch everything. You don't need to listen to every opinion. You don't need to scroll endlessly. That's not keeping you informed. It's wearing you down. It's making you reactive, anxious, and distracted. You weren't built to absorb constant noise. Your brain needs rest. It needs focus. It needs stillness. Sharpening your mind is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters with more precision. But you can't do that when your attention is split in 10 different directions. You can't solve problems, make decisions, or create something meaningful when your thoughts are being pulled by nonsense. Noise doesn't always come from the outside either. Sometimes, it's the voice in your head that keeps repeating doubts, worries, and judgments. You've got to challenge that voice. You've got to take control of it and stop giving it power. The more you feed negative self-talk, the more it dominates your thinking. The moment you interrupt it, you weaken its grip. One of the most powerful things you can do for your mental state is to create space for clear thinking. That means time without a screen, time without distractions, time when you just sit with your thoughts and listen to what your mind is actually telling you. Not what the world says you should think, but what you really think. You sharpen your mind by setting clear boundaries, boundaries with your phone, boundaries with your schedule, boundaries with the people who drain you. You can't be mentally strong if your time is constantly stolen by people who don't respect your focus. Learn to say no. Learn to unplug. Learn to protect your attention like your future depends on it, because it does. There's a reason high performers guard their time so fiercely. It's not because they're rude. It's because they understand what's at stake. When your focus is scattered, your impact weakens. When your clarity is lost, your progress slows. But when your mind is sharp, when it's quiet enough to think, you become a different kind of person. You become someone who responds with strength instead of reacting with stress. Start building habits that quiet the noise. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Limit your time on social media. Take regular breaks from your devices. Wake up early and spend a few minutes thinking in silence before the day begins. Journal your thoughts instead of drowning them in distractions. Walk without your phone. Schedule thinking time just like you would a meeting. It might sound simple, but it's not easy. Your brain is used to the rush, the constant updates, the stimulation. At first, silence will feel uncomfortable. Stillness will feel unnatural. That's normal. But over time, you'll begin to notice something powerful. Your thoughts get clearer. Your priorities become obvious. Your emotions settle. Your decisions improve. Noise isn't just loud. It's sneaky. It shows up in your habits, your routines, your environment. Look around you. Is your space clean or chaotic? Is your desk organized or distracting? External noise creates internal stress. Simplify your space, and you'll feel lighter. Declutter your environment, and your thinking will follow. You can't sharpen your mind if you're addicted to being busy. Being busy is not the same as being effective. Some people spend their entire day reacting to everything around them and call it productivity. But there's no direction in that. There's no control. True mental strength comes from knowing what deserves your energy and what doesn't, and sticking to it. Your energy is a limited resource. Your attention is not infinite. The people who master their minds are the ones who choose carefully where they put that energy. They don't give it away to every distraction.
They don't open their minds to every piece of noise. They filter, they decide, they focus. And when you live like that, everything changes. Your goals become clearer. Your stress goes down. Your time feels more valuable. You begin to move with purpose instead of pressure. You stop rushing. You start thinking. That's where your real growth starts. Not when you do more, but when you think better. So remove the useless noise. Cut out the distractions that steal your clarity. Say no to the input that overwhelms your system. Make room for stillness, for awareness, for deep thinking. That's how you sharpen your mental state. That's how you take back your focus. That's how you become unstoppable. Not by doing what everyone else is doing, but by thinking in a way that very few do. If you want to change your life, change what you allow into your mind. If you want to be calm under pressure, clear in chaos, and steady through setbacks, clean up the mental clutter. You don't need more noise. You need more focus. You don't need more opinions. You need your own voice. You don't need more stimulation. You need more space. This is your job. No one else will do it for you. And the longer you delay it, the more strength it will take to reclaim it. So begin now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now remove what's useless. Make space for what matters. Sharpen your thoughts. And show up to your life with the full power of a clear, steady, and focused mind.
Number 7. Discipline your focus or watch time disappear fast. Time is the most valuable asset you have. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. The truth is, you can always earn more money. You can always acquire more things, but you cannot earn more time. Time is a one-way street. Every minute you waste is a minute you'll never get back. And yet most people live their lives as though they have an unlimited supply. They let distractions pull them in every direction. They let their focus shift, slip, and scatter. They never realize until it's too late that their time has been slipping through their fingers, wasted on things that don't matter. If you're serious about making something of your life, you must discipline your focus. You must guard your time with the same intensity that you guard your dreams. Because if you don't, time will disappear faster than you can imagine. Your day will be gone, your week will be gone, and your year will be gone. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that you've accomplished very little with the time you were given. That's the reality of undisciplined focus. The most successful people in the world understand this. They understand the value of focus, and they know that every day they must choose where to direct their energy. They don't just react to life, they design it. They don't let the day dictate what happens to them. They make decisions and move forward with intention. They discipline their focus, and in doing so, they maximize their time. Discipline is about control. It's about making conscious choices in every moment. Every time you let your mind wander, you're giving away your time. Every time you check your phone for no reason, you're wasting precious seconds. Every time you get distracted by something irrelevant, you're robbing yourself of the opportunity to move forward in the direction you want. But every time you choose to focus on what matters, every time you refuse to let your mind drift, you're taking back control of your life. There are so many things trying to steal your focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Phones, social media, news, emails, messages. These things are designed to grab your attention and keep it. They are engineered to be addictive. But it's not just external distractions, it's also the internal ones. The doubts, the worries, the fears that can pull your focus away from the important tasks at hand. The key is not to avoid distractions entirely, because that's impossible. The key is to discipline your mind to return your focus to what matters as quickly as possible. When you can do that, you'll find yourself making progress on the things that truly matter. Disciplining your focus doesn't mean ignoring everything else around you. It doesn't mean you'll never check your phone or talk to other people. What it means is that you will make conscious decisions about when and where to direct your focus. It means you'll stop allowing yourself to be a victim of distractions. It means you'll be intentional with your time and make sure that when you do something, you're all in. Time is a resource, but unlike money, it's a resource you can't get back. If you waste it, it's gone forever. And if you don't control your focus, you'll find that time escapes you quickly. There are only so many hours in the day, and each hour has the potential to be either productive or wasted. If you choose to focus on things that matter, you'll find that you can accomplish more in a day than most people do in a week. But if you let distractions rule your mind, you'll find that hours slip by with little to show for it. When you choose to focus on one thing at a time, your brain becomes sharper, your decisions become clearer, and your work becomes more effective. Focus doesn't just help you get things done faster, it helps you do them better. You can't give your best effort when you're scattered, but when you concentrate all your energy on one task, you can achieve things you never thought possible. To discipline your focus, you need to create an environment that supports it. Remove distractions before you start your work. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. Tell those around you that you need time to focus. Create a space where your mind can work without interruption. The more you structure your environment to minimize distractions, the easier it becomes to stay focused. You also need to protect your time. Don't allow other people to dictate how you spend your day. Don't let others control your schedule. If you're constantly reacting to other people's demands and distractions, you'll never have time for your own goals. Protect your focus as if it were your most valuable possession, because in reality, it is. When you take charge of your focus, you take charge of your time. And when you take charge of your time, you take charge of your life. One of the most powerful ways to discipline your focus is to set clear, specific goals. When you have a clear target, it becomes easier to keep your focus locked in on the things that will help you achieve that goal. Without clear goals, it's easy to get lost in the noise. But when you know exactly what you want to achieve, it becomes much easier to filter out the distractions and put your energy toward what matters. It's also important to break your work down into smaller, manageable tasks. Focusing on a big project all at once can feel overwhelming. But when you break it down into smaller steps, you create a clear path forward. Each small task you complete brings you one step closer to your goal, and it keeps your focus on track. Disciplining your focus doesn't mean you'll never feel distracted. It doesn't mean you'll always be able to concentrate perfectly, but it does mean that you'll recognize when your mind is starting to wander, and you'll bring it back. It means you'll push through the discomfort of staying focused even when it's hard. It means you'll make a conscious effort to stay on track, knowing that every minute of focus is a minute invested in your success. If you don't discipline your focus, your time will disappear. It will slip away, unnoticed and unappreciated. But when you take control of your focus, you take control of your life. You maximize your time. You move toward your goals with purpose and precision. You stop wasting your days on things that don't matter. You start living intentionally, and you begin to see the results of your focus in everything you do. Your focus is your greatest asset. Protect it, discipline it, control it. Because when you do, time will be on your side, and you'll find that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. The clock is ticking. How you spend your time today will determine who you become tomorrow. Make sure you're using every minute wisely. Focus.
Number 8. Direct your mind only toward what builds you. Your mind is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's also fragile. It's like a garden, and what you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, negativity, and distraction, those will grow into a mindset that holds you back. But if you plant seeds of positivity, discipline, and focus, your mind will begin to work for you. It will build you up, not tear you down. The challenge is deciding what to allow in. The key to success isn't in waiting for good things to happen to you. The key is directing your mind toward what will build you. Every thought you entertain either brings you closer to your goals or pushes you further away. That's the reality. Your thoughts are the foundation for everything that follows in your life. If you consistently focus on things that drain you or bring you down, that's what your life will reflect. But if you direct your mind toward things that elevate you, toward things that push you forward, then you'll see your life moving in the direction you want it to go. You must take full responsibility for what enters your mind. Most people allow their thoughts to wander aimlessly, absorbing whatever comes their way. They watch negative news, listen to gossip, or spend their time on things that don't serve their growth. But that's not the way to build yourself. Building yourself is intentional. It's about being conscious of every thought, every conversation, and every piece of information you allow to take root in your mind. Think about the people you associate with. Are they lifting you up, or are they pulling you down? Are they encouraging you to be the best version of yourself, or are they focusing on all the reasons why things won't work? Are they giving you ideas that will help you grow, or are they giving you reasons to stay stuck? The people you spend time with have a direct impact on the thoughts you entertain.
If you want to grow, you need to surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better. This is crucial because the conversations you have with others are often the seedbed for the thoughts you carry. Choose wisely. Now consider the media you consume. What do you watch? What do you read? What do you listen to? All of these things shape the way you think. They either feed your mind with ideas that build you or with distractions that drain you. If you constantly consume media that promotes negativity, fear, or confusion, that's what will dominate your thinking. But when you focus on content that educates you, motivates you, and empowers you, that's what your mind will crave. Your mind will begin to crave things that build you up, and it will naturally start to reject the things that tear you down. But it's not just about external influences, it's about how you talk to yourself. Your internal dialogue is the most powerful voice in your life. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not capable, that you're not worthy, that's what your mind will start to believe. You'll build a mental foundation based on self-doubt, and that will reflect in your actions. But if you start telling yourself that you're capable, that you have what it takes, that you're worthy of success, your mind will begin to accept these truths. You'll begin to see opportunities where before you saw obstacles. Directing your mind toward what builds you isn't a passive act, it's an active choice. Every time you choose to focus on your goals, your growth, and your potential, you're building a mindset that will support your success. Every time you reject a thought that undermines you, you're reinforcing your strength. Every time you decide to stay focused on what's important, you're building resilience. This is how successful people think. They don't allow themselves to get caught up in negativity, distractions, or the opinions of others. They keep their minds focused on what matters and continually feed it with thoughts, experiences, and ideas that fuel their growth. This means you must actively guard your mind. It's not enough to simply wish for success or hope that things will work out. You have to direct your thoughts toward success. You have to choose to think about what you want, not what you fear. You have to make sure that every day your mind is filled with thoughts that build you up, not tear you down. This takes discipline, but it's discipline that pays off. The more you feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts, the more those thoughts will grow, and the more your life will reflect that growth. You can start by identifying the areas of your life that need attention. Are you focused on your career, your health, your relationships? Whatever your goals may be, you need to direct your focus and energy toward them. Every day, ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my goals? What thoughts will help me succeed? This will allow you to reprogram your mind for success. A powerful way to direct your mind toward what builds you is through daily affirmations. These affirmations aren't just words, they are declarations that tell your mind who you are and what you're capable of. They help you focus on the positive attributes that will get you where you want to go. Saying affirmations like, I am capable, I am worthy of success, and I am constantly growing and improving, helps reinforce your belief in yourself and your abilities. They direct your mind toward the future you want, rather than allowing it to dwell in the past or in fear. Visualization is another powerful tool for directing your mind toward what builds you. By imagining yourself achieving your goals, you begin to condition your mind to believe that success is not only possible but inevitable. The more you see yourself succeeding, the more your mind will align with that vision and begin to take the necessary actions to bring it to life. Take time every day to visualize your success. Picture the person you want to become, the life you want to live, the impact you want to make. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Feel the emotions of success. Taste the victory. Hear the applause. This visualization will program your subconscious mind for success and will keep your thoughts focused on what builds you. However, it's important to remember that directing your mind toward what builds you is an ongoing process. It's not something you can do for a week and expect instant results. This is a lifelong practice. But the more you engage in it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, your mind will default to thoughts that build you, and you won't have to work as hard to stay focused on what matters. You will start to naturally reject thoughts that undermine your progress and embrace thoughts that drive you forward. So every time your mind starts to wander, every time you start to doubt yourself, every time you encounter a challenge,
Ask yourself, does this thought build me? If it doesn't, let it go. Replace it with a thought that will propel you forward. Direct your mind toward what builds you, and you'll start to see the results in every area of your life. This is how you build a life that aligns with your true potential. This is how you shape your destiny.
Number 9. Fight the urge to drift and stay locked in. Drifting through life is something most people do without even realizing it. They wake up each morning without a clear plan. They go through their day without focus or intention. They react to the world around them instead of actively shaping their own path. The problem with this is that drifting leads to a life of missed opportunities. You don't get to where you want to go by simply following the current. You get there by taking control, by locking in your focus, and by fighting the urge to drift. Drifting is a silent killer of potential. It's like walking down a path with no destination in mind. You might be moving, but you're not making progress. You're not going anywhere. When you drift, you're letting circumstances, emotions, or other people dictate where your life is headed. You're not in control. And if you're not in control, then who is? The key to achieving anything of significance in life is to fight that urge to drift and stay locked in on what truly matters. To lock in your focus means to make a conscious decision every day to be intentional about how you spend your time, where you direct your energy, and what you allow to influence your thoughts. The urge to drift comes from a lack of clarity. It comes from not knowing what you want, or worse, knowing what you want but not having the discipline to stay focused on it. Most people never reach their potential because they let distractions, procrastination, and weak commitments pull them away from their purpose. One of the biggest reasons people drift is because they don't have a clear goal, they don't have a destination in mind, so they allow themselves to be carried along by the flow of life. But if you want to make something of your life, you need to set clear goals and make them the center of your focus. These goals should be specific, measurable, and tied to your values. When you know where you're going and why you're going there, it becomes much easier to fight the urge to drift. You'll have a clear direction and a sense of purpose that guides your every action. In addition to having clear goals, you also need to understand the importance of consistency. Consistency is what helps you stay locked in even when the initial excitement wears off. When you're consistent, you build momentum, and momentum is powerful. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts slow, but as it gathers speed, it becomes unstoppable. The key to building momentum is to take small, deliberate actions every single day, no matter how you feel. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Lock in your focus and do the work. Discipline is another crucial factor in fighting the urge to drift. Discipline is what keeps you on track even when distractions are everywhere. It's what helps you resist the temptation to check your phone when you should be working or to procrastinate when you know you should be taking action. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about making the right choices over and over again, even when it's hard. It's about staying committed to your goals, even when it feels like you're not making progress. It's about showing up every day, even when the motivation fades. One of the reasons people drift is because they let their emotions dictate their actions. They allow themselves to get caught up in their moods, to give in to feelings of doubt, frustration, or fear. When you let emotions control you, you become a victim of circumstance. Your ability to make progress depends on how you feel in the moment, which is unpredictable and unreliable. Instead of letting your emotions dictate your actions, make the decision to stay locked in on your goals regardless of how you feel. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is the ability to take action even when you don't feel like it. The world is full of distractions, and it's easy to get sidetracked. The more connected we become, the more opportunities we have to drift. Phones, social media, television, and even the demands of other people can pull us away from our purpose. But every time you give in to a distraction, you're giving away your time. You're letting the world dictate your focus instead of you controlling it. If you want to stay locked in on what truly matters, you need to learn to eliminate distractions. This might mean turning off your phone, setting boundaries with other people, or creating an environment where you can focus without interruption. By protecting your focus, you protect your time, and ultimately, you protect your future. Another important aspect of staying locked in is avoiding the temptation to compare yourself to others. When you compare yourself to others, you create unnecessary pressure, doubt, and frustration. You start measuring your progress against someone else's, and that will always lead to feelings of inadequacy. Comparison is one of the quickest ways to drift. It takes your focus away from your own goals and puts it on someone else's. When you're locked in on your own path, you don't have time to worry about what other people are doing. You're too busy focusing on your own growth and progress. It's also crucial to understand that drifting often happens when you're not fully engaged in your work. If you don't care about what you're doing, it's easy to get distracted. But when you're passionate about your goals and the work that goes into achieving them, it's much harder to drift. Passion fuels focus. When you truly care about something, you're naturally drawn to it. It doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like a calling. Find something that excites you, that motivates you, and that you believe in, and you'll never have to fight the urge to drift again. When you commit to staying locked in on your goals, it's not always going to be easy. There will be days when you feel like giving up. There will be days when it feels like nothing is working, or when you feel like your efforts are in vain. But this is where the power of persistence comes in. Persistence is what keeps you going when things get tough. It's the ability to keep moving forward even when you don't see immediate results. It's about continuing to fight the urge to drift and staying focused on your long-term vision, even when the journey feels difficult. The key to success is not in avoiding challenges or distractions. It's in your ability to stay locked in when they arise. It's in your ability to resist the urge to drift, to stay disciplined, and to keep your mind focused on what matters. When you do this, you'll find that the path to your goals becomes clearer, and the journey becomes more rewarding. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you want to become. Keep moving forward, and don't let the urge to drift pull you away from your purpose. Stay locked in, and success will follow.
Number 10. Create a routine that strengthens your mental control. To gain mental control, you must create a routine that strengthens your focus and discipline every single day. Mental control is the foundation of success, and it starts with the habits you build into your daily life. The truth is, without a solid routine, you leave your mind vulnerable to distractions and negative influences. With the right routine, however, you train your mind to stay on track, maintain focus, and consistently work toward your goals. This routine doesn't have to be complex, but it needs to be intentional and powerful. It's about creating a system that sets you up for success day after day. One of the most important elements of a successful routine is starting your day with purpose. How you begin your morning will determine the energy and mindset you carry with you throughout the day. If you wake up late, scramble to get ready, and rush into the day without any preparation, you've already lost control of your focus. But if you take the time to set the tone for your day, you can create mental clarity and set your intentions. Start with a few moments of quiet reflection, a clear affirmation of your goals, and a commitment to staying disciplined. This will immediately put you in the right frame of mind to take on the challenges of the day. A key part of mental control is establishing a set of priorities. Every day you must decide what is most important. The world will try to pull you in many directions, but you must resist the urge to chase every opportunity or be distracted by minor tasks. When you create a daily routine, you define what matters most and focus your energy on those areas. By starting each day with a clear vision of your priorities, you're able to stay mentally strong regardless of what comes your way. This clarity prevents you from getting lost in trivial details and ensures that you stay on course. It's also important to include physical activity in your routine. Exercise does more than just improve your body, it strengthens your mind. When you push yourself physically, you develop the mental resilience to push through obstacles, fatigue, and discomfort. Whether it's a morning workout, a walk, or a session at the gym, physical activity is one of the best ways to increase your mental control. The discipline required to stick to a fitness routine spills over into every other area of your life. It sharpens your focus, enhances your determination, and gives you the energy you need to stay mentally strong. You must also practice mindfulness in your daily routine. Mental control is not about ignoring your thoughts or suppressing your emotions. It's about being aware of them and choosing to focus on what serves you.
Mindfulness allows you to stay present and avoid being overwhelmed by the noise in your mind. Take a few moments each day to focus on your breathing, clear your mind, and bring yourself into the present moment. This simple practice helps you cultivate greater mental clarity and emotional control. It's an effective way to center yourself and reset when you feel distracted or overwhelmed. Another crucial element of strengthening your mental control is establishing a routine for learning. Success doesn't come from doing the same thing over and over again without growing. If you want to strengthen your mind, you must challenge it regularly. Set aside time each day to learn something new, whether it's reading a book, listening to a podcast, or practicing a new skill. This continuous growth sharpens your mental abilities and keeps you engaged and focused. The more you expose your mind to new information, the more flexible and adaptable it becomes. Learning is a mental exercise that helps you stay sharp and prepared for whatever comes your way. Of course, a routine should also include time for rest and recovery. Mental control isn't just about pushing yourself relentlessly, it's about knowing when to rest and recharge. Rest is essential for maintaining focus and clarity. Without adequate sleep and relaxation, your mind becomes fatigued and your ability to make decisions and stay focused diminishes. Make sure to prioritize sleep as part of your routine. When you allow your mind to rest and recover, it becomes stronger, more resilient, and better able to handle the challenges of the day. Rest and work go hand in hand. Without rest, you cannot maintain the level of mental control necessary to succeed. An often overlooked aspect of mental control is the importance of managing your emotions. Throughout the day, you'll face moments that test your patience, your temper, and your emotional strength. Your ability to stay grounded during these times determines your level of mental control. If you give in to frustration, anger, or anxiety, you lose focus and drift off course. But if you develop a routine for managing your emotions, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply taking a moment to breathe, you build the emotional resilience necessary to maintain control. When you are able to manage your emotions, you can think clearly, make better decisions, and stay focused on your long-term goals. In addition to emotional regulation, you must also establish a routine that encourages self-discipline. Discipline is the backbone of mental control. Without it, your mind will constantly wander, and you'll find yourself struggling to stay focused. Discipline comes from making decisions each day that align with your values and your goals. This means saying no to distractions, resisting the temptation to procrastinate, and sticking to your commitments. It's about building habits that support your success. The more disciplined you become, the easier it is to maintain mental control. Discipline reinforces your ability to stay focused on what matters and avoid getting sidetracked by things that don't contribute to your progress. One final element of a routine that strengthens mental control is reflection. At the end of each day, take time to evaluate your actions, your thoughts, and your progress. Did you stay focused on your goals? Did you resist the urge to drift? What can you do tomorrow to improve your routine and further strengthen your mental control? Reflection helps you learn from your experiences, make adjustments to your routine, and stay committed to your growth. It's an important step in reinforcing the habits that allow you to maintain focus and discipline. The process of creating a routine that strengthens your mental control is a gradual one. It's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about making small, consistent adjustments that add up over time. By prioritizing focus, discipline, physical health, learning, emotional regulation, and rest, you'll slowly build a routine that supports mental strength. The more consistent you are with this routine, the more powerful your mind becomes. Eventually, it won't be difficult to stay mentally focused and in control. It will be second nature. The routines you create today will become the foundation for your future success. By strengthening your mental control, you'll be equipped to handle whatever challenges come your way. Stay committed, stay disciplined, and watch your life transform.